Hello, English winners. Today, we're going to talk again about water-based idioms. This is the third part of an ongoing series that talks about water-based idioms as they relate to the world of business. If this is your first time seeing a video on water-based idioms in English, I invite you to check out the first video in my series. I should have it right there, a link to it right over here. So go ahead, check out that video, and I will see you back here after you're finished. Now, if you have followed my videos so far, get ready. I'm about to explain several more water-based idioms that will help you in the working English-speaking world of business. Let's get started. Number 1, blood is thicker than water. Now, with blood is thicker than water, we already know that water can be a symbol for money. So water in this case is business relationships. Now, what is blood? Blood is family relationships. You ever notice how people are more loyal to their family than they are to people they do business with? That's what we're talking about here. Sometimes family members will get promoted more than somebody who's a hardworking employee and knows what they're doing. This is called nepotism, and when somebody sees nepotism in a business, they might comment to a friend in secret that blood is thicker than water. Number 2, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. This comes from when babies were often washed using bath water. They would fill up a bucket of water, and then that water would be used to wipe out the baby. And sometimes the baby would be in the bath water if it was a very small bucket, because there was no risk of the baby getting hurt. And so, don't throw the baby out with the bath water means that if you have a system that's good except for maybe one small thing, you fix that small thing. You don't destroy the entire system. For example, if your sales department is fudging the numbers, then that's part of a broken aspect of a business system. So you don't destroy the entire business. That's the same as throwing a baby out along with the dirty bath water. You just want to get rid of the dirty water, not the baby itself, because the baby is what we care about. Our business is often called our baby because we care about it a lot. So it's important that we fix the problem rather than get rid of the very thing that causes us to get up in the morning and work so hard. Let's go to number 3. He is wet behind the ears. Now, if somebody is wet behind the ears, that means that they are new to a situation. It's similar to fish out of water, but while a fish out of water can refer to an experienced person thrown into a new and unfamiliar world, a wet behind the ears person is simply new to the workforce, or new to a certain type of job, or new to a business, and they have no experience. And they need help from people who have experience, people who aren't wet behind the ears. Number 4, no sweat. When something is no sweat, that means it's easy. If you're exercising really hard, you're going to sweat because exercising is difficult. But if an exercise is very easy, you will not sweat because it's not difficult. So when someone says no sweat, remember that means that was easy. Number 5, lifeboat, also called life raft. So a lifeboat or a life raft are what you climb into. It's a smaller boat usually attached to the side of a large ship. If that large ship sinks into the water, people will go into the life raft or the lifeboat for safety so that they can still be above water even if the large ship has sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Same thing with business. A life raft could be like a plan B or a different option. Like if your business is failing, you can always still go back to your normal day job. That might be your life raft. Or maybe you have 2 streams of income, your investments and your job. And your life raft could be your investments. You could say everybody who is retiring will be relying on their life raft to carry them through their older years. Walking on thin ice, this means that you are doing an activity that is very risky. A very small mistake can cause a lot of damage, and as anybody who has walked on thin ice knows, if you fall through frozen ice into water, that water is very cold and it is not a safe place to be. A sitting duck. I want you to think of a duck. It's a bird who usually spends most of its time sitting on a lake, floating around. It'll paddle around in the water with its feet. It'll dunk its head underwater to catch a fish really quickly. But for the most part, it's just sitting on the lake, not really moving. Which means anything that hunts ducks could very easily find the duck and attack it because it's just sitting there. So when you are a sitting duck, you are just sitting in one place unprotected. Maybe your business doesn't have insurance. And so if a fire burns down your office and you don't have insurance, then you have exposed yourself to a lot of risk and you won't get any money back when that building burns up. So you are a sitting duck when it comes to insurance. Being a sitting duck means that you are exposed to a huge and big risk of a horrible thing happening if you do not take steps to protect yourself. Number 8, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Now, sales is not an easy job. Most people try to sell by talking about features and benefits, and they try to use psychology and questions and earnest communication to convince another person that it is worth their money to spend on a product or service. And sometimes you can give a very good sales presentation. You can use reason, you can use logic, you can use psychology, you can meet people's needs, you can do every single thing right, but the other person still says no. And it could be for a lot of reasons. And when a salesperson encounters a difficult client who is not saying yes, even though they have every reason to, the salesperson might say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Just like how you can take a rope attached to a horse and guide the horse to a pond or a well of water, but if you put water in front of the horse, you cannot force the horse's head down into the water to drink. The horse has a mind of its own, and it's going to make its own decisions, even if it's willing to let you guide it a little bit of the way. Number 9, water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. I believe this comes from an old poem. It might have been Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. Very long poem. But the idea is that water, again, is a form of money. And sometimes you could be in a place where you are surrounded by money. It's everywhere. And you can't use any of it yourself. It's just like being stranded on the ocean. The ocean is full of salt water. And that's a lot of water. The ocean is a big body of water. But if you drink the water, it will not help your thirst. It will only make your thirst greater and cause you harm. Just like how if you work at a bank or a place that prints money or a jewelry shop, you might be surrounded by lots of wealth and lots of money everywhere. But if you take any of that money to use for yourself, you are committing a crime and it will put you in big trouble with the law. You might even lose your freedom by going to jail. So water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. That can refer just as much to money as it can with water in the ocean. The point is there's a lot of it, and none of it is for you. Let's go to number 10 and our final one for this video. Frozen assets. In an earlier video, I talked about how an asset is something that you can sell. It could be a business, it could be gold or land, or anything that you can sell to make money. Now, when something is frozen, that means you cannot do anything with it. It becomes so illiquid you cannot sell it. And this is commonly used when a person is in trouble with the government. Now, one thing a government can do is any assets that a person has within their borders, a country, they can freeze those assets. So in other words, if a person has their assets frozen, they try to go to their bank account to take money out, but they can't take money out. They try to go to their investment account to try to make an investment decision or move money around, but they can't do it. They try to borrow money from a bank, but their credit is frozen also. Anything that will enable them to get the money to do what they want to do is now impossible for them to do until they get their assets unfrozen. And usually this happens by cooperating with the law or by having assets outside of that country's borders and authority, like in a foreign bank account, that will enable you to still move around and make the decisions you need to make. I recommend complying with the law whenever possible, obviously. All right, so that's it for water-based idioms for now. I might come up with another part to this series in the future, but I think I'll follow another theme for the future videos I'll be doing with idioms. If you liked this video, please show that you like it down below. If you've seen all 3 water-based idiom videos and have a water-based idiom that I have not explained, please write it down in the comments below and I will try to answer it for you the best way that I can. I might even include it in a future video for everybody, so you'll be helping a lot. And lastly, if you really like this video, please share it with your English learning friends and co-workers and classmates so we can all win at English together. Have a nice day.